Hey, family. So, I wanted to come before you today, and I don't plan on making this video too long, but I wanted to come and talk about two things. One being the change that will happen inside of you and outside of you when you have a divinely led experience with God, with Jesus, with the divine. Number two, after that happens, the tricks of the enemy, because there will be some. So, first of all, let me say, after you have had a divinely led experience and encounter with the divine, with God, with Jesus, with the Most High, there will be a change within you from the inside out, meaning this change will start to take place in you. You will have a renewed mind. You will have renewed thinking. You will have renewed purpose, a renewed sense of purpose. You will have renewed drive in your life. You will have a renewed heart. You will have a renewed spirit. You will have a renewed level of conviction in your life. You won't be able, one key way to tell if this change has happened is you will not be able to lead the same life you led before. Again, one way to know that this change has already happened is you will not be able to live life the same way that you did before. Not only that, there will be a sense of conviction. And we all should have a conscience, some sense of natural conviction. But after you have that divinely led experience, that meeting with Jesus at the well, there's a whole nother level of conviction that will prevent you from acting in ways you used to act, from saying things that you used to say, from behaving in ways that you used to behave, from moving in ways that you used to move. It will stop you from continuing patterns that you used to perform or move before, for lack of better wording. Not only will this change happen on the inside of you, but another key way to tell that this change has indeed happened is other people will start to see it. Those that are around you, those that have known you for a long time, those that are in your intimate circle, they will begin to see a change in you, a significant change in you. There will also be an unmovable force inside of you. And what I mean by that is there's a renewed level of endurance that will keep us from giving up after we've had that significant divine encounter, that meeting with Jesus at the well. There will be significant change. Not only that, not only will you see the change, but I want to also let you know, when you begin to change on this walk, a lot of times we start to get discouraged because we think we're doing the right things. We think we're moving in the right direction. We think we're moving with this renewed purpose, and we have this renewed relationship with the divine. But yet, odds start to come up against us. Battles that maybe we haven't had or that we thought we conquered before begin to come up against us. For one, that is to build your strength. That is to build your endurance. Because God never said that this life on this earth would be easy, but that He would be with us. He would take care of us. He would carry us. Those were the promises. There was never a promise that this life would be easy, and it's not. It's not at all. Nothing about a life on planet Earth in this 3D existence is easy. However, again, after that significant meeting at the well, after that divine encounter, we get a supernatural strength. And I say supernatural because it's a strength that does not belong to us or that does not come from us. It's given to us by God. It's given to us by Jesus. It's given to us by the divine. It's given to us by the Most High. So a lot of these things that may seemingly come up against you, don't lose faith, because we will be able to endure. We will be able to withstand the battle. And I hate to say, I'm not going to say I'm sorry because that's part of the walk, but I hate to say, yes, there will still be battles. Just because we come into this new life, or we have this renewed sense of purpose, or we've had this divine encounter and this divine experience, for some of us, after these experiences, we decided to rededicate ourselves. I know that I did. That does not mean we're not going to have battles. Sometimes the battles are going to get even more intense. But again, we have armor now, spiritual armor now. We have a supernatural strength that does not come from us. So when you start to feel these things, when you start to see these things, when you start to notice these tricks of the enemy, because that's all that they are. Sometimes they're tests, but a lot of times they're tricks of the enemy. And even in the midst of a test, there was a saying, and I don't know who said it to give credit to the quote, but the teacher is always silent during the test. Again, the teacher is always silent during the test. So some of these things are that, just tests. And friend, we have to pass them. Hopefully we pass everyone, but in my renewed walk, I cannot sit here and say that I have indeed passed everyone. I cannot say that. But when you do pass one, you will know that you passed it. And I'm going to tell you why. I say this because after I had my encounter with Jesus at the well, and I said yes, and I decided to go into ministry. Not even my own ministry, but I decided to go into evangelism. I decided to say yes to any ministerial opportunities that came up for me. There began to be a shift of things that started to come up against me. And at first, I will not lie to you, I was so discouraged. I had a moment of feeling like I was my old self, internally reacting, not externally reacting this time, but internally reacting mentally how I used to. And I had to stop. And I had to take a minute to get my bearings about myself, to remind myself who I am in Jesus, who I am in God, who I am now in this walk as the new creature I've been made to be. Not too long after that, matter of fact, today, there was another test. And when I tell you, if we're thinking about tests, I would consider this an assessment. An assessment. I'm not going to say a midterm or a final, but an assessment. And I passed with flying colors. And when we're changed, when we're renewed from the inside out, and the enemy comes against us to attack us, and you realize you did not respond to this the way that the old you would have responded, there was not an inkling of the old you in the way that you handled this situation or this test, in the way that you responded to this test, whether that's a thing, whether that is an emotion, whether that's a person, whether that's a situation like a bill or some expense that may have broken us in the past because we didn't have faith in knowing who our help comes from. That is a feeling unlike none other. And baby, when I tell you I danced all over the enemy today, I danced all over the enemy today. And I said, you thought you had one today. That was a good try. You thought you had one today. So I just want to encourage you to just keep walking in your faith. If you've made that decision to renew your faith, or you're just continuing along in your walk, when these battles, these tests, these conflicts come up, that when the enemy likes to pull things in from our past that used to have us. There's a song that says, the enemy learns from your mistakes, even if you don't. Again, the enemy learns from your mistakes, even if you don't. The enemy knows what used to get you. The enemy knows what used to bring and rile you right on in to the web of deception, conflict, strife, confusion. Yes, knows very well. So when you start getting these things as from way back, and you're going, where did this even come from? Something I haven't dealt with, or somebody I haven't talked to in years, or a situation that I haven't dealt with in years. Please know, 9 times out of 10, it's nothing but a trick of the enemy. So I am here to tell you to be encouraged, to stay strong. And not only that, I want you to celebrate yourself. Celebrate every milestone. Celebrate every hurdle you overcome. Celebrate every change, every renewed piece of you. Celebrate that. Celebrate yourself. Because you're not who you once were. You're growing, you're evolving, you're ascending. Literally, spiritually, you're literally ascending vibrationally, becoming closer and more like the Most High, more like Jesus, more like the divine in your walk, in your actions, in your thinking, in your words, the way that you speak. Congratulate yourself. I'm here. If nobody has said, I'm proud of you, guess what, friend? Guess what, family? I'm proud of you. Keep doing it. Keep fighting a good fight. Sometimes we got to put these boxing gloves on, and we got to say, okay, let me put my full armor on. And once again, we get that supernatural strength, baby. So if we got to go to war, we got to go to battle, we got to get in that boxing ring, we're prepared. We're prepared. And also stand on God's word. Stand on God's word. Start to study it. Get it deep into your spirit so that when the enemy comes, you can spit that word right back at him. Let the enemy know who you are, where your strength comes from. And that you not only who you are, where your strength comes from, but that you know that you're secure in that. So again, I just want to encourage you. I want to congratulate you for doing the work. I want to congratulate you for changing and not being the person that you used to be. Because, baby, I know that I came a long way. When the change happens so radically on the inside that other people can look at you and say, you look different. They don't know why. They can just look at you and know that you look different. There's something different about you. And for me, I call that the glow of the Lord. The glow of the Lord. So, baby, when the enemy try to come up against you, just shine. Just glow. Just glow. If you got to put boxing gloves on, put them on. If you got to get in that ring, get in the ring. But a lot of times, I'm going to tell you, all we have to do is quote that word. All we have to do is put on the full armor. And a lot of times, that's enough. And another thing, we sometimes forget to fight these battles in the spiritual realm. I know I did. The test before this one, I tried to completely battle in the physical. And I think that's another reason why my mental got worn out. And I went right back to who I used to be, because these battles, these are principalities we're fighting against, not flesh and blood. So these battles cannot be fought or won in the physical. They can only be fought. They can only be won in the spiritual, with the divine, with Jesus, with the Most High's help, love, and strength. So again, when you know that you've passed the test, when you know that the enemy is throwing stuff your way, I want you to stand strong, stand on God's word, stand on the strength, the supernatural strength that was given to you, that was put on you, put in you by the Most High. And baby, know who you are. Know who you are. And that's a child of God. I love you, family. See you later.